Happy fall afternoon, Mount Hood Territory. Jared here, live from another awesome spot in Mount Hood Territory and announcing the launching of a very cool program. We're doing two things at once. We're multitasking, yay! Normally I do that and I mess up, but hopefully we don't mess up the multitasking today. I can't because I'm too excited about what we've got going on. We've got one new thing. I'm joined here by Mark, who is bringing a little bit of old and new together because we are at Brewing in the town of Brewing. Very close to my heart because it's about 5 feet from my house, so it's kind of like my hometown here. Mark is the owner of Brewing.
Bill.
Need to correct you on that.
What?
His name is Bill.
Bill, I'm sorry, where did I go? I told you I screw up on the multitasking. I'm terrible with names. I don't know where the heck I got Mark. Wow.
I've been called worse.
You know, yes, seriously. But you know how often my name gets spelled right? Never. Thanks for that one, Mom. Anyway, Bill, sorry, we'll try that again. Bill here with Brewing. It's not boring at all. He's the new owner here, and you have taken a favorite of the community and so many people and taken it to a new level. So talk about, tell everybody kind of what brought about that change.
Well, we were at the Brewing Winery, who we share the space with. They were putting a building in. They came to me and asked me to put a brewery in. So we started working on that, and then we found that Brewing was interested in selling. Enjoyed their beers since 2012, so it just kind of seemed like a no-brainer, keep the tradition of Brewing going on. And so we bought the place in May, moved it over here in July, and onward we go.
Brewing really had become kind of a mainstay for a lot of people in the region who enjoy craft beers. They've got some great stuff. And you kept that spirit alive by keeping some of those flagship beers going, but then adding some new creations of your guys' own.
Right. So we will always keep, there's 5 beers that just have to be on tap. The regulars get very upset if we don't have their beer on tap, and there's 5 of them. And then we have 5 taps that we can play with seasonals, some things on nitro, and some experimental beers.
Now, what does the nitro do? Because I've heard of that, but it's kind of one of those newer things that a lot of people are starting to really get into.
It basically, when you dispense it with the nitro, it takes all the CO2 bubbles, the carbonation in it, and it really condenses those bubbles down smaller. So it makes a much creamier, smoother beer. Gives a beer a completely different character. If I had 2 beers on tap, the same beer on tap and it was dispensed each way, totally different beers.
Really?
Yeah.
So that actually changes the whole flavor profile and makes it something completely new.
Right.
Okay, right. So how have you determined, is it through just experimentation? Well, this one does really good with nitro, or is it like they all do different, so let's just,
I've had everything from a stout is generally on, a lot of times you'll see stouts on nitro. Sometimes you'll see a cream ale on nitro. Some of your different European beers, I've had different IPAs on nitro that are just fabulous. Normally it takes the flavor and kind of calms it down a little. So if you've got a really, really big, strong IPA, and you think it might be a little too strong for the average taste, you put it on nitro, it'll actually calm it down a little.
Okay. So it's just like running a line just like anything else, it's just a different gas.
A different gas makes smaller bubbles, makes everything seem different.
I learned something today. New things are fun. I'm learning. So you guys opened this new spot here, again, you said pairing with Brewing Winery. So, it's become really a destination for people who like craft beer or, sampling a good wine. That's a unique offering though, because, sometimes you have one member of the family who likes one and then the other, so you can get both going at the same time.
And we were actually, while we were putting this together, we were having problems getting the liquor license because nobody knew what to do with us. Nobody's ever had a winery or brewery in the same location. And we share the whole location. Production for both is here.
And that's one of the really cool things is people can come here and see the whole operation. It's not just the tasting room. You guys are doing both side by side.
Right.
See, that Oregon love here, breweries and wineries working together. You love that cooperation. So, real quick, we'll touch on a couple of those wines. They've got a good offering of wines as well to kind of round out. So what are some of the things that people can get there?
They've got 4 whites and 4 reds. My personal favorite is their Zinfandel. They're red. Nice, big, bold, wonderful wine. All of them are good. They've got everything from the sweet white all the way up to the Zin. So something for pretty much every palate on the wine spectrum.
So a really good range, which again is kind of like your beer offerings.
Right.
You're kind of walking me through those before. It kind of walks the whole range of something for somebody who might be new to craft beer and trying some, kind of getting some of those blonde things or whatever, and then moving through the levels.
Right.
So talk about what your offerings outside of those 5 staples that you've got.
We've got a new stout just going to be coming out of the fermenter probably next week. That'll go on to nitro. We haven't had a stout in a long time. We have a second beer that probably will be on tap this weekend. It's a dark English mild, which is very low alcohol. It's less than 3%.
Wow, that is really low.
And we haven't named it yet because we're not really sure what to call it yet. But most of your English milds were done that way because the guy's walking home from work, stop and have a couple of pints on the way home and go home and no harm, no foul.
Still be able to function.
Right. Right. So it'll be a very, very small beer with a lot of flavor.
Okay. And then you've got one tap that you talked about. This is like the ultra experimental tap. Talk a little bit about that.
We've got, on our taps up here, we've got the last one. I refer to it as Tom's tap. Happens to be my son. He's brewed with me for 15 years. He's my recipe guy. And anything he wants to brew will be sitting on that tap.
So it's kind of like whatever inspiration hits him, let's try this.
His first beer was, he looked through the brewery, we had too much of this grain, too much of that grain, so he said, get me a bag of this and a bag of that, I'm going to use those hops, I'll go home tonight, put a recipe together, and we brewed it the next day.
Wow.
And I sold out of that beer in under a month.
Wow. Talk about catching some magic.
Yeah.
That's
so he's that kind of a recipe guy, so we'll have everything from, his next one is a Saison that's going to be using 20 pounds of Pinot grapes.
Really?
To give it a flavor, so it'll be a true farmhouse Saison.
So again, combining, the winery and the brewery all in one thing. We're doing it in one drink now.
Right, and I had thought that wine and beer would never mix, but evidently you can. So we'll be giving it a try.
Excellent. Well, speaking of try, we've got a couple of creations here that you put up, and actually, I want to get Molly to zoom in this, because one of my favorite things about Boring Brewing is the logo. And if you just look at that, it's poking fun at the name of Boring.
Right.
And I mean, people go, well, how do you come up with that name? Well, it's actually named for one of the pioneers of the town. People don't know that. It's not casting aspersions on how fun it is to be here. It is actually named for one of the pioneers of the town. But when you got a name like Boring, you got to play with it.
Right.
I mean, that's why they're paired with Dull Scotland. Just kind of making fun of that whole thing. But that logo really plays off that well. I really enjoy that. So I wanted to show off the logo because that's one of the creative things. But now let's talk about a couple things we're going to try here.
Okay. Well, the darker beer of the two is our Boring Brown. Honestly, that's one of the main reasons I bought the brewery. I've loved that beer since 2012. I will not change that recipe. John, the founder of Boring Brewing, nailed it on a brown ale.
All right. So is that the one I should start with?
That's a constant. Absolutely.
Okay. So this is the one of the mainstays. Cheers. I can see why you like that. That is, it's bold, but it's not, as we talked about before, some people who just try to punch you in the face with the beer. Right. It's got some subtleties to it as well. I like to see that that's going to be sticking around. That's awesome.
That will always be on tap.
Awesome. So you can always get the Boring Brown here at Boring Brewing. Right. Wow, say that 5 times fast.
Yeah, we've been called out on that one before. It's a little bit of a tongue twister. But the second beer we have here, I quite honestly did not know it existed when we were buying the place.
Bonus!
We went in and John had it on tap and we were meeting and we were kind of trying different things. We call it the hot scotch, and it's a strong Scottish ale, so it's an 8% beer.
And again, it makes sense if we're doing Scottish beers here since we're paired with Dull Scotland.
Right.
I love all the synchronicity happening here.
Right. And so what's unique about it is it's a pepper beer, so we finish it in the whirlpool with Scotch bonnet peppers.
Okay.
So it adds some heat to it. And the Scotch bonnet pepper, I don't know if you've ever had it.
I have not.
Very hot pepper.
Okay.
It's in the beer. It's in the beer making process. It's only in there about 10-15 minutes.
Really?
And then it's out.
That quick.
And it leaves the heat and the flavor behind, but it doesn't burn your taste buds out when you take a drink.
And that's the thing. It's I'm going to enjoy the heat, but I'm not going to be grabbing the other beer going, please, somebody put the fire out.
Right.
Okay. I love some spice, so I'm looking forward to trying this one. So bottoms up on this. Give us the name again on this one. The hopscotch?
The
hot scotch. Okay. Well, that's not too much heat at all. That's just that just lets you know it's there.
Right.
Ooh, I like that. That is fun. Mm. And it's you get kind of that ale flavor first, but then the heat comes in afterwards.
Right.
But again, it's pleasant and just kind of like a friendly nudge from a friend. Hey, I'm here.
Right.
But you can still taste
Now,
that.
if you want to try the most unique thing we do.
What's the most unique thing we do?
We take this, we pour it in there, we do one, we haven't named it yet, we'll be holding a contest probably in November once I figure this out. people come in, they drink 50-50.
Okay.
Hot scotch and brown.
Hot scotch and brown.
Had
Okay.
both, now you can taste that.
Now, together again. It's a marriage made in boring. Okay. That's really good.
Now you get even more maltiness from the brown with the heat.
It's like they complement each other somehow.
Right.
I mean, was that just one day, we'll see what happens? Or?
John had someone working for him in the tasting room, and she discovered it and started pouring it for people, and that's probably, other than the IPA, which is always 40% of your market share no matter what you do, that's probably the #1 beer we pour in here.
All right. You know what? I would love to give you a name right now and say, that's it. I got nothing. I am completely drawing a blank. All I know is it's awesome, and just our awesome beer may not be as marketable as one would think off the surface.
Right.
That's really good, though. I'm gonna have to think about that because I did like that. I'll have to order some of that later. Well, one of the cool things is people can try that when they come here and order a flight. And one way you can do that is off of our new Mount Hood Territory Tap Trail. There's the new thing. I needed like a studio audience. We needed applause for that one. Some clapping and stuff. Thank you. We'll work on that one for the next time. I don't think anybody could follow me around that much. It wouldn't be that interesting. No, but the Mount Hood Territory Tap Trail, we have just launched about 5 seconds ago since I made the announcement. Everything just went live, and this is a mobile passport program where you can try craft beers, craft ciders, even mead, and a distillery all along this tap trail throughout Mount Hood Territory. And this free mobile passport you download onto your phone, and it gives you discounts at the 13 participating businesses, of which Brewing is one. It's real easy to do. I'm just going to actually bring up my phone. Molly's going to come over here. So if you go to the URL, which is going to be on the link, and we'll have it for you everywhere. Write this down. Grab your pencil. Did you grab it? OMHT, Oregon's Mount Hood Territory, omht.us/tap trail. See how we did that? Real simple there. You go there, and you're going to come to our page, our website there. And all you have to do is you tap on the add to cart, but don't worry, it's free. And I've already got it loaded up because I didn't want to wait. So you're going to go to the page here. You can download this mobile passport to your phone. It's going to put a little shortcut on your phone where you can go and see each of our breweries. And you can see them throughout Mount Hood Territory, 13 breweries, meaderies, cideries, and so forth. Learn more about each one of them. And you can go and find out what their deal is. Like at Brewing, it'll tell you where it is, give you information, their website, their address, their phone number, and their deal, which is buy one flight, get one complimentary tasting flight free. You get that for free. All you got to do is download the mobile passport, again, at omht.us/tap trail. Now, the cool thing is, if you visit 10 of these and redeem at 10 different locations, we're going to give you something special. 10 locations, free discounts. You also get something else free. You're going to get our Mount Hood Territory Tap Trail stainless steel pint glass, which is being brought over here by our multitasking Molly, who is also doing camera work. This lovely stainless steel pint glass for free. But wait, there's more. No, there's not more. I just wanted to do the whole telemarketing thing there. You get that free logo thing there for visiting 10 of our craft breweries, cideries, meaderies, and a distillery, getting a discount for free, and we'll give you more free stuff. So I really don't see a downside here. I got nothing. If you come up with a downside, you must be trying way too hard to be negative on life. We've also got some cool stuff. If you go to our website, mounthoodterritory.com, we've got an article about this. We have it on the site too, where you can find some limo companies, some transportation companies. So if you want to hit more than one spot in the day, you can do a tour of the trail in style. Make sure you get there safe and don't have to do anything that would get you in trouble, because we want you to be safe out there on the trail. And you can go and explore these great spots all in one day, or break it up and just do one a week, couple a week or something like that, and hit some really awesome spots in Mount Hood Territory. So you're offering the flight, and the flight is how many samplings?
5 samplings per flight, so it'll be a total of 10.
Okay.
For the price of 5.
All right, and now how much is a flight normally?
$7.
$7. So for downloading a free app, you get a $7 value here at Brewing, and that's just one of the 13 places. So again, go to omht.us/tap trail. You can find out more there. You'll see our logo. You'll find our logo and some information at all the participating breweries. Again, cidery, meadery, distillery, and that's really cool. I'm really stoked about the meadery because, I mean, that's an up-and-coming thing that people are really starting to get into, and that's a lot of fun as well. And speaking of cider, you guys also have cider here as well from another business we've talked to before. Talk a little bit about that partnership.
Stone Circle is a new cidery out in Estacada. They're all farmhouse style ciders. We carry their semi-dry, which is a really nice, easy drinking cider. And I'm not that big of a cider fan. So
you know it's good, but it really wins you over on that side.
Right. So they've right now, currently, I believe they have 4 ciders. And then they're doing seasonals. I'm really excited. They're coming out with a seasonal. It's a hazelnut something cider. Oh, I'll have that on tap when it comes.
Nothing says Oregon like a hazelnut apple cider.
It's
That's
just right
cool.
in the fall.
Yeah, that just right nails you right there. Well, what are your hours here? How do people find you and come here and try all the awesomeness you've got going on?
So our website is boringbrewing.com. Pretty simple, straightforward.
I like it.
If you Google Boring Brewing, you get us too, of course. But our hours are, we're getting ready to change them. We're actually going to extend them out.
Oh, nice.
So let's say we're open from 3 to 8.
We're putting them on the spot now because we're making them change the hours right now.
These are the new hours right at the moment. 3 to 8, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Noon to 8 on Saturday, and noon to 6 on Sunday. We're closed Mondays and Tuesdays.
I guess we'll give them a day off, whatever. Okay, if you must. All right, so you are located really in a great spot, right off of Highway 26 here in Boring, so it's easy to find.
Right.
So give us the address because I just drove here and I actually don't know what the numbers are. I just know how to get there.
It's 29300 Southeast Haley Road. So we're right on the corner of Highway 26 and Haley Road, right in front of it. If you need a landmark, most people out here know where Good Shepherd Church is. They're right behind us. So we're right on the corner. We share a lot with Trail Dust Trailers. So when you see the blue tractors and all the utility trailers sitting there, that's us. And easy access on and off the highway.
You got to come check it out. It's a great stop along the Mountain Hood Territory Tap Trail. Boring Brewing. You can get this glass by visiting 10 spots, getting a discount at each one for downloading our free mobile passport. You can't beat free. Sounds like a good deal. Well, thanks for having us out here. I appreciate it. This place is awesome. And I'm just really excited to launch the Tap Trail, and I'm glad that Boring Brewing is part of it because this place has been a mainstay in the area since 2012. And I think this new group is taking it in fun new places. So check out Boring Brewing right here at the corner of Haley and Highway 26. Great spot in Mountain Hood Territory, and a great spot along the Mountain Hood Territory Tap Trail. Click the link in the post to learn more. Until then, we'll see you next week on Mountain Hood Territory Live. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.